Talk to him.
Have we been taught the commandments of God?
Put them up. Put them up.
All of them. All of them. We ain't been taught no commandments, bro.
Right.
We ain't been taught no. Okay, I'm gonna give you one. Watch this. Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. I'm gonna give you an easy one. That they ain't teaching in the churches. And you know that they ain't teaching because guess what? As the shepherd is, so is the sheep. The shepherd in the context is talking about the pastor, right?
That's
So
right.
9 times out of 10, when we go to the church, whatever the pastor is doing, typically the congregation is doing. Watch one commandment that they haven't taught us. Hold that thought, Byron. Hold on. I'm gonna show you a commandment real quick. Read
Talk to him. Let's go.
Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. Read.
Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their heads.
So guess what? This was the commandment. God gave us the best hair on earth, and he loved it so much. He said, hey, listen, y'all don't cut that hair. Don't cut your hair off. You know, like how you got kids and stuff, right? And you want to grow out your son's hair, you give him braids, cornrows, or whatever and stuff, and you send them over to your auntie house and she cut it. What happens? You get mad as hell because you don't want her to cut that hair, right? So the same thing with the Lord. Watch this, read this again.
Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their heads, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
Neither should they do what?
Shave off the corner of their beard.
So I got a question, King, and I got a question, Byron. I'm glad that y'all up because we need to be dealing with the man because the man is the ones that's going to set the nation in order. You know how heavy your example of repentance would be? If you repented and everybody that knew Byron see that you actually serving the Lord? We all go. I'm going through it right now. But I put my differences and my issues aside to come out and go teach my people. That we all going to go through it until Christ get here. But King, Christ. King, watch this. Yeah. But I don't want to leave this point, right? Because the topic was, have we been taught the commandments? You said no, right? I'm gonna give it to you straight, bro. They ain't taught us none. I just started with a small one, but they ain't taught us none. Because guess what? Thou shalt not kill. Yeah, they mentioned that, but they ain't really taught us how to do that. Because the opposite of kill is what? Love. So they say you should not kill, but they don't teach you how you love your brother, right? We're gonna touch that too. But back to my point. When I say Jesus coming back, Christ is coming back to save the 12 tribes of Israel. Christ is within you, but that's the spiritual Christ. But the physical Christ is going to come back and redeem the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what being saved means.
That's right.
That's what being saved means. Jesus will. You know how Jesus will leave us? Watch this. I'm going to show you something. Watch this. Hold on. Byron, listen. You said Jesus never left, right? I know. Watch this. That is true. I'm going to show you how he will leave us, though. Watch this. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Watch this. Because guess what? The topic is we have not been taught God's laws. I just gave you one. Did you hear the law that I just brought out? Let's go back, because they ain't even hearing it. He ain't hearing it. Go to Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. Watch this. And you are keeping it and didn't even know it. Watch this, read.
Leviticus 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
Watch this. Why you think God told us not to do that? Why you think God said don't shave off your head and don't cut off your beard? Why you think he taught us that? I understand. I heard about that.
Bring it up.
So you said strengthen your hair. I got you. And you said it's your antennas. And y'all not wrong. Now I'm gonna give it to y'all out of the Bible. Hold on, Byron, because if you keep talking, you ain't gonna hear the answer from God. Watch this. Go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. I learned my brother brought this. I got to do this too. So he said, don't cut off the hair on your head. Don't shave off your beard, right? And this is one of the reasons why he said that. Read this.
The book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image.
So the reason why he said don't do that, because just like how God made us in his image and he has a beard and he has woolly hair,
Right.
he said don't cut that off because you look just like me. And when you
That's
do that,
right.
son, you look different.
Right, that's
You
right.
look different. So go back to Leviticus chapter 21 verse 5. Now I got a question. Hold on, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Because guess what? What do you think the benefit of you keeping that commandment is? He is a spirit, but we dealing with commandments right now. Let's not jump off. Let's not jump off track. Come on up, big bro. Come on up then. So my question is, what do you think the benefits is for keeping that small commandment? Give me Matthew chapter 19, verse 16.
Bring it out. Image is power. Bring it out.
What was my question? 'Cause you said a lot. I know, and I do that sometimes too. Sometimes I'll try to hit a point, but then my mind go all over the place.
Put them up.
Of you keeping that commandment. Right. What's the benefit?
Walk like a duck.
Okay, now let me give it to you in the Bible. That's not bad. That's not bad, because we need to look like God and we need to be like God in order to live forever, right?
That's right.
What? Watch this. I'm about to get the answer to you real quick. Watch this. Matthew chapter 19, verse 16. Read this.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?
Eternal life is going into getting into the kingdom of heaven, living forever, not having no sicknesses, no depression, and rulership at the end of the day. That's eternal life. One came and asked Christ, the black Messiah, hey, listen, man, I'm trying to get what you're talking about. How do I get up in there, right? Watch this, read. Because we all want to live forever. When Christ comes back, we want to be found worthy, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right. No, we should, bro. You want to be found worthy, bro. Watch this. Read.
Verse 17. And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life.
So if you want to enter into King, pay attention, King. I know it's a lot going on. But if you want to enter into life, if you want to get the kingdom of heaven, read.
Keep the commandments.
Do what?
Keep the commandments.
Do what?
Keep the commandments.
So we just gave you a commandment in Leviticus. One of the easy commandment. Grow out your beard because God has one. That's a commandment, not a suggestion. Don't cut off your hair because God has woolly hair. That's a commandment, not a suggestion. So part of you trying to get into eternal life, you got to be keeping that. So it's not a small thing, big bro. It's not a small thing. So I got a question. Now, for you, I think that's easy because you're already applying it, right? Are you going to keep that commandment? Or are you going to shave off your beard? Or are you going to keep that because that's going to qualify you for everlasting life? What you going to do? You don't know? You know, just do what you feel like. Whenever opportunity presents itself, I might shave it. What? All praise to the Most High. So that's easy, right? Right. Give me 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. Watch this. And I'm gonna show you something, right? Because everybody say that I love God, right? I can ask all, hey, my brothers and my sisters, I got a question. And I ain't gonna blast y'all like that, but I got a question. Do y'all love God? I ain't gonna put y'all on blast like that. But do y'all love God? Watch this. I'm gonna show y'all how we supposed to love God according to His standards. Go to 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. Because you said you've been growing it out, right? Is that an easy thing or a hard thing? Watch this. Watch this. Read this real quick.
1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God.
Now we about to find out how we love God in its entirety. He says, this is the love of God. Read.
That we keep His commandments.
That we do what?
Keep His commandments. And His commandments are not grievous.
And He said His commandments is not grievous. Grievous mean hard. So you growing out your beard, that ain't a hard thing. And you showing that you love God because God said do it and you gonna do it. That's not a hard thing. And if you continue down that path, guess what? The kingdom of heaven is for you. The kingdom of heaven is for you. Then on top of that, guess what? Because why do you think they disrespect us? Why do you think the other nations, they come through our society, our community, they disrespect us. They can say, listen, get COVID shots or die. Just stupid stuff that they do, right? Why do you think they disrespect us like how they do?
Because it's easy.
Uh-huh.
It's easy and we
Why is it easy?
Huh?
Why is it easy? Now, King, come here, because that's a heavy point, bro. I gotta talk to the man, bro.
Go, man.
I got you.
I got about
That's all I need. So you said it's easy, right? I'm gonna show you why it's so easy, right? Watch this. Go to Judith chapter 5, verse 19. I'm gonna show you why it's so easy.
Keep him real. Dialogue. Gather the sheep.
You got no push and pull? If they pull, we don't push. Byron, what you think? Why you think they can come in our, I'm talking about like the Chinese.
We don't understand who we are, and we don't understand the power that we got. We don't know who we are.
Guess what we do, but we just forsaken it. Because guess what? We just brought out, what law did we bring out? We brought out the law dealing with your beard, right? When you keep that, you get your spiritual connection.
That's right.
But when you break that, guess what? No protection for you.
Right.
No protection. You know why? Because you strange in the eyesight of God. Because he said a man should not shave off the corners of his beard. So when you do what you want to do, are you gonna, like for instance, you have a child, right? And the child ain't keeping none of your commandments. He ain't doing none of your rules. He don't want to clean up his room. He don't want to go to school. He don't want to do no chores. But guess what? When he get in trouble, he wants daddy to defend him. Is daddy gonna defend him? No. Same thing with God.
That's right.
Same thing with God. When we roll in that spirit of rebelliousness, when we don't want to keep what God tells us to do, he allows us to get killed. And I'm gonna read that in the Bible. Watch this. Go to. What you said? What? What about the prodigal son? And guess what? Dealing with the prodigal son, what did the prodigal son do?
He took his money off when he
Yeah.
He came back. I'm gonna go to my
He did what? He did what? He came back and went to keep God's commandments. Guess what? We all the prodigal sons, because we all went off. We all went off.
That's what I'm saying. That's all.
But on the flip side, when he was breaking his king, don't leave. When he was breaking his father's law, he was being treated worse than the cattle. Same thing with us. When we break God's laws, we treat it worse than the cattle. So we are the prodigal son, and we trying to show y'all how to come back to the Lord. But you got to be humble. You got to learn how. You ain't coming back with the foolishness that you learned in the world. You're not doing it.
I'm coming back to
King, hold on, King. Watch this. Read this. Big bro, come on. So my brother said that you're from the tribe of Gad, Native Americans. Come here. Let me show you something real quick. Watch this. Come on up. Your battery went dead or something? Come on up. I'm your brother. You said it's slow?
It's slow.
Oh, it's low. Okay. So have you ever, you know how like black folks say that I got Indian in my family? I got that thin hair, I got Indian in my family?
all the time.
Guess what? That was not a myth, and that was not fiction. That was a fact. We got Indian in our family. Because in 1492, what happened to my brother?
They got captured, slaves.
They got colonized, right?
That's right.
And guess what? The people that colonized y'all, was those the same people that enslaved the so-called African Americans?
Gather the sheep.
You said what? Y'all was not colonized? Okay. So if y'all not colonized, right? Where's your land? But who? Okay, so this is your land, right? So who runs it?
Now?
Yeah.
Like now?
Because you've been colonized.
That's right.
I know it hurt.
No.
Huh?
Not colonized. Ripped off. Stolen from.
That's right.
Alive.
Right. Guess what? Y'all was ripped off. Y'all was stolen. We was ripped off. We was stolen. The reason why all these things happen is because we the same folks.
That's right.
We the same folks, bro. Watch this. Go to Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 33. We the same folks. 50, verse 33. But the thing is, with their crafty counsel, they teach that we're different.
That's right.
They teach that we're different. But guess what? Believe it or not, it is a God, and God's objective is to make us come back together as one nation.
That's right.
And the way he's doing that is with the Bible. Watch this. Read this. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
So watch this. The children of Israel represents the northern kingdom. That's the Latinos, that's the Hispanics, that's the Native Americans. God calls y'all the children of Israel. Y'all represent the northern kingdom. I know that's a lot, but just follow me. Watch this. I read that one more time.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel.
The children of Israel, meaning the Latinos, the Native Americans, read.
And the children of Judah.
And the African Americans, the black, the Jamaicans. Those are the children of Judah, read.
Were oppressed together.
They were what?
Oppressed together.
My brother, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? All praise to the Most High. I know you got a conversation. Now you got something to say. What's your name, though?
My name is David, but my totem is wind in this air.
Your name is David, and your totem is wind in his ear. So, did you understand what that scripture just said?
No.
Let me read it one more time. I'll kind of figure. Read that.
Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
So the children of Israel represents the northern kingdom of Israel. That's the so-called Latino. So, because you say you Native American, right?
100% Pima Indian.
Guess what? You come from the tribe of Gad.
That's right.
You are part of the children of Israel. And the children of Judah is the American blacks, the West Indians, and the Haitians. Watch that. Read this one more time.
The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
God said the reason why y'all was colonized and we was enslaved is because we would be oppressed together. Guess what, man? Listen, we're living in the age of information, so we know what happened to us. We got the books we can read now. They can't trick us no more. They broke us. Yes, it hurt, but guess what? That was all because of it had to happen. What was Bible prophecy is now our history. Guess what? Where's the Northern Kingdom? Watch this. No, the other one. Yeah, we don't got the. Okay. So this what happened in 1492. This had to happen. Now, it wasn't a coincidence. God said that this would happen to us because we forsook Him.
That's right.
Guess what? Native Americans, they was heavy into idolatry. They was heavy into idolatry. You got some of the gods that they was worshiping right here. The Inti, that's the sun god. They still worshiping it. Guess what? But guess what? What's the first commandment? Because you said that they still worshiping these same gods even today, right?
Even in Christianity, they all
Absolutely.
They all got the sun images everywhere.
He right on it.
Egyptian obelisks and stuff.
We do the same thing though. We do the same thing. It ain't just y'all. We do the same thing though. We're heavily into idolatry. But my question is, Byron, what is the first commandment?
First commandment? Love thy brother like you love him, like you love yourself.
No, that's not the first one. That's not the first. That's the second greatest commandment. But what is the first commandment? Let's get it. We gonna get it. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. I think that's what it is. Watch this. Watch this. This is the first commandment, right? So prior to the Christopher Columbus coming, y'all was sacrificing to the sun god, and guess what? Y'all was sacrificing y'all brothers, right? You don't think God gonna have a problem with that? He did. And guess what? Y'all was doing it so bad that if God didn't send the conquistadors to come do it, y'all probably would have exterminated a couple of the tribes. That's how bad y'all was doing into idolatry.
Right.
So watch this. Read this.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3.
Bring it on.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So that's the first commandment, and we was breaking it heavily. We was breaking it back then, and we're breaking it right now.
Right.
So it says, thou shalt have no other gods before me, right? Watch this. Read.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
He's a what?
Jealous God.
God is a jealous God. When you angry somebody that's jealous, guess what? You think he just gonna let that slide?
Nope.
No.
Bring it up.
No, he said he's a jealous God. Read.
That's right.
God's jealous?
I got you.
I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children of the third and fourth generation.
Listen to this, because y'all wanted to know why y'all went into slavery, right? It says doing what?
Visiting the
Our ancestors did, and we reading why. Watch this. Read.
visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation.
So God said that he would visit the iniquities of the children upon the fourth and third generation. That's why that generation that was in 1492, the reason why they went into slavery is because God visited them.
That's right.
He visited them and he sent our enemies against us.
That's right.
That's you know that, right? God sent our enemy, because you got to think, right? The Native Americans, what's in that book? What point are you trying to bring out?
So this just kind of goes into the point of what the officer's bringing out about how you guys are the Israelites, right? So this is a book called History of the American Indians by James Adair. All right, this is page 48. It says, their festivals and fasts and religious rites have also a great resemblance to those of the Hebrews. It will be necessary here to take a short view of the principal Jewish feasts. And they kept every year a sacred feast called the Passover, in memory of their deliverance from Egyptian bondage.
That's right. Bring it out.
This is page 65. The Indians, through a strong principle of religion, abstained in the strictest manner from eating the blood of any animal, as it contains the life and spirit of the beast, and it was the very essence of the sacrifices that were to be offered up for sinners. And this was the Jewish opinion and law of sacrifice. Leviticus 17:2. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar. So this is going into the history of how they honored and kept God's laws here, even as they did back in Jerusalem.
That's right.
So the scholars know, bro. You said David, right? Yeah. You named after our forefathers. Right. So the scholars know. It's just us. We don't know that we're the children of Israel. You want to know why? Why? The reason why we don't know is because of this. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4.
Bring it out.
The reason why we don't know that we're the children of Israel is because there is a God, and guess what? When we go into idolatry, when we break God's laws, it's a judgment for it. And this was the judgment that took place on us as a nation. Read this.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
What did God say the Israelites would do?
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
So the reason why we don't identify as Israel, or we don't keep the customs of the Israelites no more, is because God said that we would discontinue from our heritage.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.